What a wonderful day. Sun is splitting the treetops and I have a 270-degree vista of loveliness. I'm sitting, I don't know if you can see it, on the arms of one of the transformers, and that's the view down, right? And there's a little edge there, and if I fall, I'm going to fall down there and break my fucking neck. I'm smiling because it's a good day, even though I've had very little sleep, because Emily's suddenly seems to be on a let's make mummy and daddy be awake 24 hours a day, so we're only getting about 2 hours sleep a night. It's been a fantastic sort of 10 days. It started off that there was a lot of my models, there was 3 of my models used on 3D Max demo at Game Developers Conference, GDC, right? First 3 models, all mine, fully credited and all that, and it was probably one of the biggest master classes and demo thingies that was done there. And I was over the moon with that. I thought that's enough to make my week quite nice. I'm sorry if you get the wind. I'm trying to shout from the microphone from the wind here. Then on top of all that, I managed something that's virtually impossible. Now I don't know how many of you know, but actually getting a link on the main Autodesk site, right, to your own site, one of your own sites, it's like hen's teeth. It's nearly impossible, right? Because Autodesk they protect their intellectual property and their names and trademarks very, very tightly, and that's perfectly fine because that's the way it should be. But it means that every time you want something as simple as putting a link to mudboxhub.com, it's got to go through a million and one lawyers. But thankfully it went through without a hitch. So it's one of only 2 links from the main Autodesk site, the Mudbox section. Not the area, but the main one, right? The other one's to digital tutors, but I'm the only solo person that has a link, which is great, needless to say. Then I found out that off somebody on Twitter that there's a new 3D magazine, 3D Artist. They asked me for a load of the quick start videos and things for it before they started. I never heard anything back. I thought, well, chances are Pixelogic are normally the major sponsors of anything, and they've probably done the usual, well, if you put this in then we won't sponsor you sort of thing, and heavy-handed tactics, they've never denied it, and even if they did, I've got proof that they're talking through their arse, but beside the point. So I thought, well, it's dead in the water, but then there's a link, a nice little picture to Mudbox Hub in there, which look great. Last night I found out, downloaded the Max 2010 demo that apparently somebody put on the server at the wrong time, and like everybody else, I had to download that straight away. It's got the new graphic toolset, and I thought, well, it's based on Polyboost, but I never like the Polyboost UI and things are a bit different, so I'll have a look at the tutorial, right? My model's using that as well. Yeah, that was quite cool and groovy, that was. I really was over the moon with that one. Just that one bit, because the graphic toolset is major news. People said, well, they didn't develop it. Yeah, they've made it better though. If you look at the speed of normal Polyboost, which I've got, right, and you put it next to the graphic toolset, there's no comparison to speed now, because it's all native code, right? There's a lot of new selection things and that, but the UI, Polyboost UI, I've always been a big critic. It's absolute shit, right? It always was. Great program, UI is terrible, puts a lot of people off. And this makes sense. I picked it up in about 2 minutes. Yeah, I use a lot of programs, so I'm used to learning things fast. But no, it's easy to learn. You know what I mean? If anybody's having problems, I'll do a bloody video on it. At some point. In fact, I might do some. I've actually playing around with the idea of doing a quick start series for 3D Max, and also for Maya. That was always the intention, is to cover all the Autodesk apps. But whether I've got time is a different matter. But now I'm also putting, if you're wondering why I disappeared offline, most of that was due to my daughter being born, and the fact that sleeping 2 hours a night is not conducive to art, right? It plays with your head, and I got to the point where I can hardly draw a straight line. But I've sort of got used to the idea of, opening Mudbox and sculpting when I'm seeing virtually double. But I'm also getting stuff done for SIGGRAPH. I've got that to get wound up with the next couple of days, and that was really stressing me out because she was born. Really, I hate to say this, but she was born at the wrong time for that, right in the middle of the deadline. The course, it threw everything to shit. So I'll get that meet. There's stuff for end user event in Amsterdam. I think it's the 28th, 29th of May. I think is it the 28th or the 29th that I'm there. I travel on the Wednesday. I do the master classes on the Thursday, and I come back on the Friday. So hopefully I'll have a little bit of a chance to look around, Amsterdam. I don't take drugs, you know what I mean? I don't drink a lot. I just want to go to the Van Gogh Museum. How many people actually go to Amsterdam just to go to the Van Gogh Museum? It's probably not a lot, you know what I mean? It's actually outside of Amsterdam. It's something wrecked or something, but I keep calling it Ruprecht, right? Of dirty Rotten Scoundrels. Also, found out that I'm not. You see this Down Valley here, right? The Down Valley. I'd always assumed that I was the only 3D artist, right? In the Down Valley. Only one I'd ever heard of. Turns out I'm not. Chris Robson, he's no relation, who runs 3D Palace, lives just over that way, about 15 minutes walk from me. So we had and he's doing end user stuff at end user as well. He does all the mechs and stuff, and for 3D Palace and the APU set, the Sentinel, and all, the stuff that's really for hard service guys. You can't get any better than that, right? This is where I'm going to break my neck down here if I'm not careful. So if the camera goes a bit wobbly, and you suddenly hear me go, ah, you'll know what it is, right? So we had a bit of a couple of meets up and stuff. We had a bit of chat because we're both sort of pretty isolated, and it's quite interesting because not only are we both sort of known about each other for quite a while, career-wise. We both so we've always been on each other's radar for some weird reason. We both assumed the other one lived, other end of the country, and then it sort of like turned out that when because he's exactly the same age as me, and during the late 80s, early 90s, right, he used to go to the same sort of nightclubs and heavy metal nights as I did. He put a couple of photographs up on Facebook. Turns out, I remember him, right? He used to be the guy that, like, his group of mates, he used to be talking to the mates of my mates. So you'd see him at the other end of the bar, sort of trillions and shit, and sort of riding and standing in places like that. It was just fucking madness, In fact, I know fine well, I've even stood behind him in a shop, in a supermarket. Because, once you say Chris is, he's got a nice long black coat, right? And you just don't want to forget that coat. So there you go. There. So, interesting old week. Let's see what time it is. Right. There's a guy down here who's been taking photographs. He's going to think I'm a lunatic if I walk past, so I'll just stand here. I think I ruined his shop before I was sitting on a transformer. Yeah. But what are you going to do, So there's all sorts of things behind. There's something else that happened as well. Couple of the GDC stuff, Moonbox Hub, Link. There's something else. I know something else I'm missing. Something pretty major actually. There's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes, right? That I can't talk about at the moment. Very, very big. Hopefully by the end of the year I should be able to say something. And this is something there's only 2 people alive know about, and neither one of them live in the same country, and I'm one of them. Alright? Should be interesting, that's all I'm going to say. I've also been doing some sculpting of like a Gothic cathedral last few nights. In fact, I wasted 4 hours on it. Did this lovely sort of Norman arch and stuff. Actually, I had trouble doing the poly model for the where all the arches meet, and I actually asked Chris. And he said, so he knocked something out. I said, alright, shit, I got it now. And then I had to start the sculpting, but see, it looked great. And then what I was doing was taking that particular section and then using the max symmetry modifier to mirror it round and create the basic structure of the cathedral. But there was only one problem. The textures didn't work well with the light. And I looked and I thought, this is crap. I do shit from time to time. It does seem to be, when I'm tired, really tired, that the good to shit ratio is a bit different. What time we got? Right, I'm going to move on to part 2 in a minute. So I'll see you all in part 2. And I'll cover some other stuff that's happening. Right? Yeah, in a bit.